It was Mother's Day when I got a card, and my daughter insisted I read it out loud. Roses are red, violets are blue. You're a heavy burden, no one wants you here. Everyone burst out laughing. My name is Gloria. I'm 74 years old, and that was the most painful moment of my life. It was a bright Sunday morning. Sunlight was pouring through the windows as I arrived at my daughter Daniela's house to celebrate Mother's Day. I wore my favorite green dress, the one that always made me feel classy. I even brought flowers and sweet treats for my grandkids. Grandma Gloria! The little ones shouted, running toward me. Their hugs filled me with joy. For a moment, everything felt perfect. Benjamin, my son-in-law, only gave me a short, dry nod. Daniela came out of the kitchen with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Mom, so glad you made it," she said. "We have a special surprise for you." I sat on the sofa surrounded by my family. The kids gathered around my feet, giggling in excitement. Daniela pulled a pink card from her purse and handed it to me. "It's from all of us, Mom. Read it out loud so everyone can hear." My hands shook slightly as I opened the envelope. The card had little flowers drawn by the kids. How sweet, I thought. I started reading happily. Roses are red, violets are. Then my voice broke as the next lines hit me hard. You're a heavy burden. No one wants you here. Your time has passed. It's time for you to go. Signed, your family who can't stand you anymore. For 3 long seconds, the room went silent. Then Benjamin started laughing, a loud, cruel laugh. Daniela covered her mouth, but I could see she was laughing too. Even the kids, not understanding what was funny, started giggling because their parents were. Did you see your face, Mom? Daniela said between laughs. You should have seen yourself, Benjamin. Did you get a picture? My heart broke. Tears rolled down my wrinkled cheeks as the card slipped from my trembling hands. It's just a joke, Mom, Daniela said casually. But her tone showed no regret. Don't be so serious. You've always been too dramatic. Benjamin bent down and picked the card from the floor. Yeah, Gloria, we were just kidding. But you know, he paused awkwardly. Lately you've been a bit too present. Maybe you should think about other options. Other options? I asked in a weak voice. Well, you know, Daniela said, sitting in front of me. There are nice senior living homes for people your age. You'd be more comfortable there, with others like you. Her words echoed in my head like a death sentence. My own children wanted to throw me away like I was old trash. But I thought. My voice was barely a whisper. I thought I was here to celebrate Mother's Day with you. And you are, Mom, Benjamin said, sounding condescending. But we have to be realistic. You're not young anymore. You need care, and we have our own lives. The grandkids looked confused. The oldest, about 8, came over and held my hand. Grandma, why are you crying? Before I could answer, Daniela pulled him away. Come here, sweetie. Grandma's fine, she's just being emotional. I sat there feeling more alone than ever. On the day meant to celebrate mothers, my own daughter had humiliated me in front of my family. I slowly stood up, legs shaking. I should just go. Okay, Mom, Daniela said without even standing up. We'll call you later. I walked to the door, holding on to the little dignity I had left, but inside, my heart was shattered. That night, in my empty house, I cried until there were no tears left. But somewhere inside me something changed. That humiliation woke up a part of me that had been silent for years. It was time for my family to learn who Gloria really was. The next morning, I blocked all of them. But before moving on, I needed to remember how everything got this bad. I sat in my favorite armchair, the same one where I used to nurse Daniela 45 years ago, and let the memories play like an old movie in my mind. It started when I was 29. Daniela's father left us when she was just 3. One morning, he was simply gone. He left a note on the kitchen table. I can't do this life. I'm sorry. He didn't even say goodbye to his daughter. That night, I held Daniela as she cried for her dad. Daddy had to go far away, my love, I whispered, promising myself she would never lack anything. And I kept that promise. For 15 years, I worked double shifts at the textile mill. My hands were covered with calluses from sewing uniforms all night. Every extra cent went toward Daniela's education. When she turned 17 and wanted to study nursing, I sold my mother's jewelry, the only thing of real value I owned. But when I saw the sparkle in her eyes as she talked about her dream, I didn't hesitate. "Mommy, are you sure?" she asked. "Completely sure, my love. Your education is everything," I told her. During her 5 years at university, I worked weekends cleaning offices. My back ached every night, but seeing her study at the dining table made it all worth it. On her graduation day, I cried with pride. "We did it, Mommy," she said, hugging me tight. "This wouldn't have been possible without you." Later, she met Benjamin. At first, I liked him: polite, hardworking, and caring. When they got married, I paid half of the wedding, $12,000 I'd saved for years, because I wanted her to have her dream wedding. "Mom, this is too much," Daniela said when I gave her the check. "Nonsense," I smiled. "It's your special day. You deserve it." When they bought their first house, I gave them $25,000 for the down payment, everything I had left. But seeing them happy made me happy too. Then came my grandkids, 2 beautiful little angels who became my world. When Daniela went back to work after maternity leave, I became their full-time babysitter. Every morning at 6, I walked 6 blocks to their house. I made their breakfast, dressed them, took them to the park, fed them, bathed them, and told them bedtime stories. When Daniela came home, the house was spotless, and the kids were happy. "I don't know what we'd do without you, Mom," Daniela used to say back then. "You're an angel." But slowly things changed. The thank yous stopped coming. My opinions about the kids started being called interference. When I suggested that the little one should see a doctor for his constant cough, Benjamin snapped, "Gloria, were the parents here?" I stayed quiet. Maybe I had gone too far, I thought. But then came the subtle comments. "Mom, you don't have the same energy you used to have for watching the kids." "Gloria, I think you mixed up the kids' vitamins again. Maybe you should rest more at home," Daniela told me. But I kept going every day. I kept helping. I kept giving everything I had. 2 years ago, when Benjamin lost his job, I started giving them $500 every month so they wouldn't lose their house. "It's just temporary," they said. "Just until Benjamin finds something better." 6 months later, Benjamin got a new job, but they never told me to stop sending the money. They just kept accepting it, like it was something I owed them. When the kids needed new computers for school, I paid $2,000 without being asked. When Daniela's car broke down, I gave them $4,000 for the repairs. When they wanted to remodel their kitchen, I added another $8,000. Little by little, I became their silent helper, always fixing their problems, always giving, but no longer included in their important family talks. A year ago, Daniela threw a dinner for Benjamin's birthday. I only found out because one of my grandkids mentioned the secret party. "Why didn't you invite me?" I asked Daniela on the phone. "Oh, Mom, it was just a small thing, only the 4 of us. We thought you'd be bored." But later, I saw the photos online. There were at least 20 people there, all of Benjamin's relatives, people I knew well. Everyone had been invited except me. That night, I cried quietly, telling myself it must have been a mistake. But mistakes became normal. They forgot my birthday. They canceled our lunch plans. When I stopped by without calling, they looked annoyed, like I was interrupting their peace. But the final blow came 3 months ago. I was helping make dinner at their house when I overheard Benjamin talking on the patio. "Yeah, my mother-in-law lives alone," he said. "She's getting really dependent." "No, she's not sick, but you know how they get at that age. We're looking at places to move her." I froze behind the door. My own son-in-law was talking about getting rid of me like I was an old piece of furniture. That night, I couldn't sleep. I had given them my life, my money, my love. And now I was nothing but a burden they wanted gone. But what they didn't know was that I had a secret, something I'd kept for decades. Before my mother passed, she told me about a family property in Nassau, Bahamas. I inherited it when I turned 70, a beachfront condo that had been rented out for years. The rent money had been saved in an account I never touched. I also had investments from my Aunt Lucille, who passed away without children and left everything to me: bonds, stocks, and savings certificates. That money quietly grew while I lived simply on my small Social Security check. Altogether, I had nearly $400,000 money my family knew nothing about. They thought I was just a poor old woman surviving on government help. They had no idea I was the one secretly funding their comfortable life, not because I had to, but because I loved them. But after that horrible Mother's Day, something in me finally broke. It was time for them to see the real Gloria. That cruel card was my wake-up call. That night, I stayed up holding the card in my trembling hands. The words kept echoing in my mind. You're a heavy burden. No one wants you here. At first, I cried. But as the tears dried, something inside me shifted. The pain turned into something else: clarity, strength. For the first time in decades, I saw everything clearly. I wasn't a burden. I was the one keeping them afloat. I slowly stood up and went to my bedroom. From my dresser, I took out a small wooden box I hadn't opened in months. Inside were my important papers: bank statements, property deeds, investment documents. As I went through them, I started doing the math, and it shocked me. In just 5 years, I had given Daniela and Benjamin exactly $67,000, $25,000 for the house, $12,000 for the wedding, $12,000 in monthly help, $2,000 for the computers, $4,000 for the car repair, $8,000 for the kitchen, and at least $4,000 more in small expenses. Meanwhile, I was still living in the same small house, wearing the same green Sunday dress, walking to the store to save money on gas. But what hurt the most wasn't the money. It was remembering how cold they'd become. I thought of my grandson's birthday 6 months ago. I showed up early to help decorate, just like always. But when I knocked, Benjamin opened the door looking annoyed. Gloria, the party doesn't start until 3. Why are you here so early? I thought I could help set things up, I said with a smile. We don't need any help, he said flatly. Daniela's got it covered. Behind him, I saw his mother, Gabriel, hanging balloons. She had been invited to help. I stood there, embarrassed. I can wait outside until 3, I whispered. Don't be dramatic, Mom, Daniela said, walking in from the kitchen, drying her hands on an apron. You can stay, just don't get in the kitchen. You always mess up the recipes. Mess up recipes? Me? The same woman who'd cooked every meal for that family for decades? That day, I sat quietly in the backyard, feeling like a stranger at my own grandson's party. I watched Gabriel help with the food, getting praised for the cake she baked, while I, who had paid for half of that party, was ignored completely. When they sang happy birthday, I stayed at the back. No one noticed I wasn't in the family photos. Later that evening, as I picked up plates, my grandson came to me. Grandma, why were you so quiet today? I'm just tired, my love, I lied. Grandma, Gabriel says you're too old for big parties. His words cut deep. Gabriel, only 3 years younger than me, was teaching my grandkids to see me as too old. But even after that humiliation, I still kept helping, still kept giving, still kept hoping things would change. How foolish I was. Last Christmas, I went all out again. I bought a new bike for my oldest grandson, a tablet for the youngest, French perfume for Daniela, and the power tool Benjamin said he wanted. I spent nearly $3,000. On Christmas Eve, I arrived with my arms full of beautifully wrapped gifts. The kids ran to me, but Daniela quickly stopped them. Kids, put Grandma's gifts under the tree. We'll open everything tomorrow. My presents got mixed up with the mountain of gifts they'd bought themselves. When it was time to open them, nobody mentioned who gave what. The kids just mumbled thank yous, not knowing which gifts were from me. But the part that hurt most came later. I had brought a special present for Daniela, a pearl necklace that had belonged to my grandmother. It was a family treasure, passed down for generations. Mom, it's really pretty, Daniela said without even trying it on. But you know I don't wear jewelry. Maybe you should save it for when the girls are older. She handed the box back without even opening the clasp. I had imagined her wearing those pearls with pride, the same way my mother and grandmother once had. Instead, she couldn't even be bothered to look at them. That night, I held that little pearl box close and cried until I fell asleep. It wasn't the money that hurt, it was the complete lack of care. Then 2 months ago, I got the flu. For a week, I was in bed with a fever over 102. I could barely move. I called Daniela to ask if she could bring me some food, or just check in. Oh Mom, we're so busy right now. Benjamin's got a big project at work, and I'm on double shifts. Can't you ask a neighbor? But honey, I said weakly, I can barely walk. Mom, you're not a child anymore. You have to take care of yourself. We can't run to you every time you catch a cold. A cold. She called it a cold. She hung up and didn't call again that week. It was my neighbor, Mrs. Johnson, 82 years old, who brought me soup and made sure I took my medicine. A woman I barely knew cared more about me than my own daughter. When I got better and went to visit Daniela's house again, no one even asked how I'd been. It was like that terrible week had never happened. And now, sitting at my table with those bank papers spread out before me, I finally saw the truth, plain and painful. I wasn't their beloved mom or grandma. I was their emotional ATM. When they needed money, there was Gloria. When they needed free childcare, there was Gloria. When they needed someone to blame, there was Gloria. But when Gloria needed love, care, or just a simple phone call, Gloria didn't exist. That night, I made the hardest decision of my life. I opened my old laptop and logged into my bank account. It was time for big changes. First, I canceled the $500 monthly transfer to Daniela's account. Second, I closed the family emergency savings account they always used. Third, I rewrote my will. Everything that was meant for Daniela and Benjamin would now go to a charity for abandoned seniors. And fourth, I did something I never thought I would. I bought a plane ticket. It was time to go to Nassau and see that property for myself. It was time to start the life I truly deserved. But before I left, I wanted my family to fully understand what they had lost. On Tuesday morning, I put my plan into motion. I hadn't slept much, but for the first time in years, I felt truly awake. I put on my best gray suit, the one I wore for Daniela's graduation, and styled my hair neatly into a bun. I wanted to look like the strong woman I really was, not the helpless old lady they imagined. My first stop was the bank. "Good morning, Mrs. Gloria." My advisor, Mr. Paul, greeted me. "How can I help you today?" "I need to make a few important changes to my accounts," I said firmly. For the next 2 hours, I completely reorganized my finances. I canceled every automatic transfer to Daniela. I closed our joint account. I moved money from my investments into my main account. "Are you sure about these changes, ma'am?" Mr. Paul asked, looking concerned. "These are big changes." "Completely sure," I said. "It's my money, and I can do what I want with it." Next, I went to my lawyer, Mr. Caleb, who has handled my family's legal matters for decades. "I need to change my will completely," I said, straight to the point. Mr. Caleb, an older man who's known me since Daniela was little, took off his glasses and looked worried. "Gloria, is everything all right? This is a very big step." "Everything is fine," I replied. For the first time in years, I see everything clearly. I laid out exactly what I wanted. Everything I had left to Daniela and Benjamin would now go to a foundation for homeless seniors. I also set up a trust for my grandkids, which they can access at 25 only if they keep a real relationship with me, not out of duty. "Gloria, maybe you should think on this a few more days," he said. "These choices can't be undone." "I've had 74 years to think," I answered. "And the last 5 taught me all I need to know." I signed the papers with a steady hand. No shaking, no doubt. My next stop was the travel agency. I'd spent the night researching my Nassau property. It's a 3-bedroom condo in a lovely area, rented for years by a management company, with the income piling up in a Bahamian account I never touched. "I want to fly to Nassau this Friday," I told the agent. "Is it a vacation, ma'am?" "No, it's a freedom trip. I bought a first-class ticket. If I was starting a new life, I would start it in style." Before leaving, I had one more task: write the letters. I got home at noon and sat at my desk. I took out the nice stationery I bought years ago and never used. It was time to tell my family exactly what was happening. Letter to Daniela. "My dear daughter, by the time you read this, I'll be on my way to Nassau to live in the family property you didn't know I owned. I've ended the financial help I've been giving you. The $500 a month is permanently canceled. The emergency joint account is closed. Don't see this as punishment, see it as a lesson in independence. I should have taught you long ago. For decades, I gave you my time, my money, my energy, and my unconditional love. Somewhere along the way, you decided I was a burden, not a blessing. The Mother's Day card was just the last straw. But the real problem started earlier, when you stopped seeing me as your mother and started treating me like your maid and your private bank. I've changed my will. My estate will now go to people who truly value generosity and family love. Your children will have a trust when they turn 25, but only if they maintain a real relationship with me. Don't come to me for money. Don't call to ask me to return. Don't send the grandkids to sway me. If you want your mother back, prove you value me, not what I can give. Your mother who finally learned to value herself. Gloria. Letter to Benjamin. Benjamin, I never saw you as just my son-in-law. I welcomed you like the son I never had, but you turned me into the awkward mother-in-law you wanted gone. I heard your phone call 3 months ago about finding a proper place for me, like I was old furniture in the way. What you didn't know is that the proper place was always in my hands. I have a property in Nassau, investments that bring in more than you make in a year, and the freedom to live wherever and however I choose. For years, I quietly covered your repairs, helped with bills, and handled emergencies. I did it out of love, not duty. You mistook my generosity for weakness, my presence for dependence, and my love for an inconvenience. Now you'll have to stand on your own. When I finished the letters, I sealed them and left them on my coffee table, ready to be found. Then I sat in my living room and smiled. It took me 74 years to learn the most important lesson of my life. People treat you the way you let them. For years, I accepted crumbs because I was afraid of being alone. But being alone is far better than being with people who don't respect you. And once I learned that, I realized I wasn't truly alone at all. I was free. I was going to Nassau. And for the first time in a very long time, I felt excited about my life.